Who is going to fight for gun owners in House District 33? That's the question we're being asked, guys. We're going to answer that question in today's video. Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming Gun Owners. And guys, as you know, the August primary is upon us. And a lot of gun owners in District 33 are asking us in this primary, who is the pro-gun candidate between Wade LeBeau, Valaria, Whiteman, and Sarah Penn? We're talking about this area here, District 33. Most of it is the Wind River Indian Reservation area in Fremont County. And again, we have an incumbent Democrat who is the current state rep in this seat. This primary is to see who is going to take on the Democrat in the November election. But first, if you get past the primary. So, as you guys know, WIGO's job is not to tell anybody who to vote for. Instead, we tell you guys where these candidates stand on your gun rights so you can then make your own informed decision on who you think is going to fight for gun owners in Cheyenne. And so in a case like this, where we have three non-incumbents we have no record to tell you about, in other words, we rely heavily on their public statements and the results of our candidate survey program. As always, our survey program is designed to put the candidates on the record. Everyone says they're pro-gun at election time, especially in a primary. What our survey does is says, okay, we know you say you're pro-gun, but how exactly would you vote on these issues, the hot issues of the day, if they come up on the floor for a vote in Cheyenne? And more importantly, which of these issues would you fight to help us advance here in Cheyenne? That's what our survey does. It separates the men from the boys, or in this case, I guess the men from the ladies, as you're about to find out. And it gives you a snapshot of how these people might vote on a gun issue if they're chosen for office in this primary and general election. So we've got good news and we have bad news when it comes to this primary. We'll do the bad news first. The bad news is that both Wade LeBeau and Valaria Whiteman have refused to sign their WIGO gun rights candidate survey. And again, when a candidate won't survey, oftentimes that's a sign to us that that candidate may be planning to work with the Rhino class here in Cheyenne and oppose our gun rights. No, normally they don't vote no on a gun bill on the floor. What that normally looks like is they will work behind the scenes to keep a bill locked in committee from ever coming to the floor in the first place. So what that does mean is that we have no idea how either Wade or Valaria would vote on all the hot button issues of the day. The biggest one of all perhaps right now is red flag gun seizures. A lot of you guys remember just a month ago in Washington, D.C., Joe Biden signed the nation's first federal gun control bill to pass into law in decades. And the heart and soul of that legislation was $750 million to be used by the DOJ to bribe state legislatures into passing red flag gun seizures. Now, we got tons of rhinos in the state capitol who would love to pass red flag laws already. They're only being held back because WIGO members are very powerful and are scaring them off of doing it. But if Merrick Garland comes along with his staff in the DOJ and they're waving millions of dollars in the faces of rhinos in the state capitol, you can bet this will be a hot topic going forward here in Wyoming. And that's why for Wade LeBeau and Valaria Whiteman to refuse to condemn red flag laws is very, very troubling. They've also refused to condemn Fix NICS mental health gun control. This has been a hot topic in Wyoming in the last couple of years. We've shut it down in the state capitol every time it's come up, but it's going to come back up again. And Fix NICS mental health gun control is kind of like a red flag gun seizure light. It takes away guns from people who have not been convicted of a crime. Neither Valaria nor Wade will condemn that. Ditto when it comes to red flag gun seizures. We have Republicans here in Wyoming who are actively pushing for waiting periods on gun sales. Neither of these two candidates will condemn that. They won't take any stand at all, frankly, on any of the gun rights issues of the day here in Wyoming. That's a problem. Now, when it comes to Sarah Penn, a lot of you know Sarah Penn. Sarah was active as an activist in the fight to deal with heavy-handed masking mandates and lockdowns back in 20 and 21. And that issue, she said, spawned her to get involved in state politics and to run for this House seat. Now, Sarah Penn is very different from these two candidates. Sarah Penn loudly supports the Second Amendment. She happily and quickly signed the Why Go Gun Rights Candidate Survey, and that means that Sarah Penn is publicly on the record. You can see her survey on our website right now. She's publicly opposed to red flag gun seizures, publicly opposed to fixed NICS mental health gun control, publicly opposed to banning AR-15s or magazines, publicly opposed to waiting periods. And Sarah Penn also publicly acknowledges that we have to fix the problems with Wyoming's SAPA law. As you guys know, we passed what the rhinos called SAPA this year, but that was a gutted bill that was stripped down. They kept the title, they destroyed everything else. And so right now, we don't have any protections here in Wyoming if Joe Biden wants to come in here and use our cops to enforce his executive orders attacking our gun rights. We must do better for gun owners here in Wyoming. Sarah Penn acknowledges that, and she's proud to announce that on her candidate survey. So again, if you're a voter in this district, HD 33, you've got three candidates all vying for the GOP nomination. One candidate, Sarah Penn, loud and publicly championed the Second Amendment. And you've got two other candidates, LeBeau and Valaria Whiteman, who refuse to tell you where they stand on your gun rights. If you come across these candidates at a forum or an event between now and Election Day, ask LeBeau and Valaria Whiteman, why won't you survey? Why won't you put your views in writing? It's the Second Amendment. It's under attack more than ever before. Why won't you tell us where you stand? And if you see Sarah Penn, be sure and thank her for her strong stance on the Second Amendment and for signing her survey and publicly putting her views on the Second Amendment in writing. Guys, that's our report for this race. Do us a favor, share the video far and wide on social media, get it out there on email, make sure every person in this district knows where these candidates stand. Guys, to join our fight, go to www.joinwygo.com.